So what do you think that gets people wanting you to come back and do the next project?
Wow. Well, hopefully, I mean, there have been times when they haven't. You know, there's been this mysterious times.
That's not the question.
No, I know. No, well, I guess in answer to, there's been times when they don't call back, and you wonder, and especially if there's been a big success, and you go, "Wow, great, we're off now," and then the phone doesn't ring. But there's no, I think that probably because I have a genuine enthusiasm for what I do, and historically, I think what I can bring to a lot of projects is this is what has been the work of my family. This is what I live and breathe. This is my every thought, has been pop music and the making of pop music, and I come from a family that did that. My parents did it, So it's for me. It's what we are. My kids do it, and their kids will probably do it. So it's just what we are, and I think that that's one of the things that probably would bring people back to me. Sort of like, well, that's what he does, So I hope. I guess I have a pretty optimistic outlook on the way things are going. There's a lot of gloom and doom, but you have to sort of look at it from. You always have to count your blessings, I think, and say that, we're really lucky to be doing this, and it is work. It's the work that we do. So you have to find new ways to make things happen. I'm pretty proactive at going back and not only trying to repurpose or continually rethink records that I've already done, but when we're making new records, try to imagine how they're going to play out in their second, third, fourth, and fifth life cycles. You know what I mean? Because there are ways that, and especially with the broken model now, what is an album? It's not, it's not what we do anymore, really. When you think about it, it's more like, it's groupings of work, and sometimes they don't even represent a necessary time frame. They sort of stretch that a little bit. So I think that I have a really optimistic view about the future. You could look at it purely financially and say, well, there's $12-15 billion in the music business every year that is made or that circulates amongst this pool of people. It is simply a matter of identifying what track that money is coming in on and being there for it. And I think that money is not going to go away. There's still consumption. People still enjoy music. There's always going to be a music business there. You just have to work through it and have an optimistic approach about it. I'm not quitting. I couldn't do anything else. Flower Studios is it's a 3,500 square foot creative workshop atelier with a 650 square foot control room. The remainder of most of the space, aside from a small kitchen sort of front reception area, is the tracking rooms and the ISO booths associated with them. They are versatile in that they were built in an old school style, so you get a lot of isolation and you can open them up. And they're wide openings that actually roll out and become gobos. It's a studio that I had worked in a lot, and I really have a lot of respect for the two guys that have run the studio. Ken Arrows and Jeff Evans, who have worked here for a long time, are good friends of mine. And it just so happened that we were in a position to be able to buy the studio. And so we acquired the studio a few months ago, and we're going through the process of updating it, renovating it, and trying to kind of turn it into this little hit factory that we imagine that it will eventually be, and tie it into Flower Records in that way. It's a great atmosphere. We're hoping to actually build it as a really great base for our activities, and also as a destination for a lot of other producers or artists that want to come and work here. And part of our first wave of refreshing the room is a new Duality. Yesterday we were cutting some simple straight ahead guitar stuff, just through a channel of the desk, not going out of the desk at all. A simple Royer microphone in front of a Marshall amp, with the VHD tuned to a certain setting, and it absolutely gave us that stunning, fantastic Les Paul through Marshall, brilliant, in-your-face guitar sounds. And I love that. So for guitars, some vocal things, we used it on violins today. It worked fantastic on the strings. really, really good. You know, the ever-changing, shifting quicksand of the music business right now, you wonder, is it time to go, you know, to downsize, go small, try to do things in a small way? For me, it didn't seem like the right thing to do. It seemed to me a time to return to actually doing things maybe the way I'd done them 15 years ago, where you've got young, interesting talent who really need to be developed, you know, and you need a space to do that in. This past year has been really just starting from scratch, you know, meeting young people who have cool ideas, seeing where I could fit in the mix, seeing if they were comfortable with me, trying to not impose my ideas too much on people, but really be helpful in every area that I could, you know. So that's what's, a lot of it is initiated from this end. I don't think that anybody right now is sitting by the phone. I mean, there's maybe a few guys that are sitting by the phone, but the general feeling that I get when I go out and talk to other producers who would be in my peer group is that they are taking the initiative to start things themselves, which is kind of cool. I think that's good, you know. I mean, what better thing? You get up in the morning and you're responsible for it. You create it. You make your own way, you know. And I think most of us are doing all right, you know. We'll probably rough it out like everybody else, but then there'll be a lot of success along the way, you know.